everybody, Legend for Life here, bringing guys a brand new video. So I am sick. I was sick yesterday too, and that's why there was no video. But I am gonna try and power through it because I want to still make videos for you guys, and I'm feeling better. But God, I have a headache. So that's enough of my problems. Let's actually get on to the video. This is an anime deck discussion on the I don't know what to call them, the star archetype. That's like the only naming that they all share. Some of them are called the Sky Wind Stars, and then you got the Earth Stars, and you got the Sky Stars, and it's everywhere. But basically, this is the star archetype. They're basically a bunch of ninja samurai things from the Arc-V anime used by I forgot his name. He's got a very weird name, Ikagato or something like that. I can't pronounce it. Anyways, he was a pretty prominent character for like 2 episodes, and that was about it. But surprisingly, there's actually a pretty decent amount of support for this deck in the anime. And I gotta say, I really like the playstyle of this deck. It's a fusion-oriented deck, and it's got a very interesting playstyle in that the fusions, especially the boss monster, is not your typical fusion. So, first up, you'll notice that they have 4 normal monsters with incredibly high levels. I don't even remember these being played, but they showed up whenever I typed in like the Sky Stars and stuff, and they are needed for some of the fusions. So basically, you got Senko the Sky Volt Star, 2400 attack, 0 defense, level 7. Then you got Arashi the Sky Wind Star, level 7, 2300 attack, 0 defense. Sumuji, the Earth Wind Star, level 6, 2200 attack, 0 defense. Then Todoroki, Todoroki. I probably pronounced it the first time right. The Earth Volt Star, 2100 attack, level 6, 0 defense. A common theme you'll see with almost all these is that they have 0 defense. The only exception is Kaiki, the Sky Star over here. And then even the fusions have like pretty much the same defense, 22, 22, 22, and then 0 for this guy. But there's a reason for that. We'll get to him when we get to him. So first off, right off the bat, if this archetype were to be printed, these guys need to be made into actual effect monsters, okay? There is no reason for them to be this high level with no effects, no nothing. And like, if Konami wanted to print this archetype and expect them to do well, or even have a chance, they would either have to make it to where these guys did something or they had more support, because honestly the deck doesn't really do much in terms of the normal monsters. I mean, yeah, you got some of these guys who can be normal summon without tributing, but these are effect monsters. Why do they not all have that? So like, really honestly, these guys should have some sort of summoning method to them aside from just being fusion fodder in your hand. That's my biggest issue right off the bat with these things. Next up, we got Hayate, the Earth Star. So the effect monsters are really the main ones that were like really noticeable from the anime. So Hayate, the Earth Star, 2100 attack, level 5, Earth Warrior. They're not all Earth Warriors. I thought they all were, but nope. You got a light, wind, light, earth, light. So mostly earth and lights, which is kind of weird. And then the fusions are everywhere too, with their attributes. And he is basically a Cyber Dragon. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. Once per turn, when this card is targeted for an attack while you control no other monsters, you can negate the attack. I actually really like this effect. Being able to just negate an attack, stall out for a turn, hopefully, depending on what your opponent has and everything. Very, very nice. I feel like they could probably buff this guy up a bit, but for what he is from the anime, he's not terrible. Next up, we got Tenma, the Skystar. Literally the same stats, Earth Warrior, everything. Kind of weird how he's a Sky Star, but he's an Earth attribute. Just something to notice there. So literally the exact same stats, and if you control an Earth monster, you can normal summon this card without tributing. Obviously, you're supposed to summon out Hayate first, stall out for a turn, to normal summon Tenma, and then just try and beat down your opponent there. This would make more sense if the deck wasn't fusion-oriented. If it was XYZ-oriented, that'd make a lot more sense. But no, they're fusion-oriented. Why should I just worry about fusing these guys when I can just fuse them from hand? So that's my kind of like only real issue with that whole thing right there. But it is still pretty nice. Whoops. Next up, we got Kaito Skystar. He's level 5. He has the reverse stats plus 1,000. So 1,000 attack, 2,100 defense, light warrior, level 5. If a fusion monster you control loses attack, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. When this card is special summoned, you can pay 500 life points, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. While you control the fusion monster summoned by this effect, you take 500 damage during each standby phase. That is pretty good. I kind of like it. I don't like the burn damage. I don't really feel like that really is necessary. But however, I do like this for what it does. Oh hey, your opponent Dark Rebellion is one of your monsters while this guy's in your graveyard. Or heck, you can go ahead and do something with your own thing, like for instance, like Forbidden Land, Strength, or something like that. Reduce one of your own guys, special summon from your graveyard, and then well, just pay 500 life points and fusion summon, and then hey, look at that, you got a boss monster out again. Really like it. He's okay. I feel like he could be a lot better, especially if he had like a hand effect, so that like maybe if he's in your hand, you can discard him, take no battle damage or something, and then you get him in your graveyard. So that'd be really nice. Anyways, next up under the spells, they have a quick play spell card. The guy mainly used polymerization in the anime, but they do have a quick play spell card for fusioning, and then they have 2 equip cards. So first and foremost, we got Supremacy Fusion, as it was called in like Japan, and then they changed it to Frontline Fusion over here for some reason in the dub. I don't get it. I honestly kind of like Supremacy Fusion a bit better, because honestly, considering like these are freaking war gods, it makes more sense. Anyway, so Frontline Fusion, quick play spell card. During your battle phase, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. This is pretty nice. I like being able to be able to do this during your battle phase, because then that allows you to just go for more OTKs. You're able to go for a lot of damage, hopefully swing for the OTK and everything. I really do like this, and the fact that it allows you to use from hand or field. It's basically El Shaddai Fusion. And then we got the first of the 2 equipped cards, Magic Star Sword. If a spell card is added to your hand, you can send one of those spell cards to the graveyard, and if you do, the equipped monster gains 100 attack. This is solely made for the idea of action cards. For those of you who don't know, there is, in the anime of Arc V, there are these things called action cards. They're used only for action duels, and action duels encourage the players who are dueling to move around on the field and try and get these action cards. Action cards can do various different things, from canceling out attacks, changing attack directions, negating effect damage, and stuff like that. There are also action trap cards, but they don't really. They were literally in one episode, and I really feel like that they could have been a better like feature. But that's a whole different other rant. So really, honestly, this is made entirely for the anime, for the whole action spell thing. If this was actually printed with this exact effect, it would be atrocious, because if you add a spell card to your hand, you're probably doing it off of terraforming or something. This deck doesn't have a field spell, but it's just the first thing that comes to mind. You won't be discarding the field spell you just added. You know, honestly, if they were to print this, I'd like to see it be like once per turn you can discard a card to increase the equipped monster's attack power by, I'd like to see it like by 500 or something. If you got to give up a whole card after equipping this onto it, I would really like to see a bit more of attack than 100. Granted though, the reasoning for the whole 100 attack thing is explained in the anime because of this guy over here. But however, even then, it should really be more. Next up, we got Shooting Star Sword, the obviously better one. So, equipped spell card, obviously. Shooting Star Sword. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster whose level is less than or equal to the equipped monster's. If the equipped attacking monster destroys an opponent's monster whose level is less than or equal to the equipped monster's battle, you can activate this effect. The equipped monster can make a second attack during the battle phase. So, sorry I had trouble reading that for a second there. The wording was kind of weird to me for some reason. So, not only do you make it to where your guy basically cannot be destroyed by battle, whose monsters are like basically lower level in it. And the fusions have really high levels, like look at this, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12. So they, if you equip it onto one of the fusions, they're going to be able to just run into anything and not care. And heck, if they do summon something bigger in it in terms of attack, your opponent's not going to be able to run it over. Now, that being said though, if you do kill something with it while it's equipped, you get to attack again. That is really, really good and can lead to all sorts of OTKs in combination with Frontline Fusion. So I really, really, really like this card. It's really, really good. Much, much better than Magical Star Sword. Granted though, Magical Star Sword could help with the OTKs so long as it had some sort of just completely different effect. Next up, we get to the fusions. First up is Fujin, the Breakstorm Star. He's a Warrior Wind, level 10, 3k attack, 2200 defense. He needs one Skystar monster and an Earthstar monster during each end phase, and for 500 damage to your opponent for each warrior type monster on the field. That just allows you to put so much more pressure onto your opponent and really trying to screw them over. Like, not only are you going to be able to do crap tons of battle damage off of Frontline Fusion and Shooting Star Sword, but then you're also going to be able to pressure them with burn damage during the end phase. So even if your OTK did fall short, you'll be able to finish them off during the end phase. I really, really like that. And then next up is Raijin, the Great Volt Star. He has the same summoning conditions and the same attack and level and everything. 3k attack, 2200 defense, Sky Monster, and an Earth Star Monster. If this card attacks, he does piercing. I would honestly like to see this guy get a little bit more. I feel like just having piercing is not enough anymore. He should have something else, like maybe a Fling Wingman effect. Maybe that'd be too much. But I would really like to see something a bit more to him, because just having the piercing just not as... I mean, it's nice, especially like going for the OTK and everything, but it's just not enough anymore. Then we got Idaten, the Conqueror Star. He needs a Skystar monster and an Earthstar monster, and has the same stats. They all have the same stats and the same summoning conditions, which is pretty crazy. You don't see that very often. When this card battles an opponent's monster with a level lower than or equal to this card's level, during damage calculation, you can activate this effect. That monster's attack becomes 0 during the damage calculation only. So, not only are you able to just run over pretty much anything that's level 10 or lower, but you can make it to where that monster drops to 0 attack and then do 3k direct damage. Potentially more depending on what's going on. That is really, really, really good. And incredibly scary. Like, this deck has so much potential if Konami does actually print it, because the fusions have so much pressure abilities, the spell cards have a lot of pressuring abilities, and this deck could be a very, very viable fusion-oriented OTK deck, and I really, really, really like it. Now, that being said, though, I would like to see, again, him have a bit more to him. Granted, though, I don't know, like, what else I'd really add to him. Maybe some protection. Same thing with these two. Like, honestly, a lot of boss monsters, they need protection nowadays. You can't just throw out a boss monster with no protection and it's going to get destroyed. So I would like to see some kind of protection on any of these guys. Maybe make it to where they can't be targeted or something. You know, not too much protection, because I do like their effects. Except this guy, he really needs a lot more than just piercing. So I would like to see some sort of protection added onto these three. And then we get to this guy, Shura, the Conqueror Star. Level 12, Warrior Dark, 0 attack, 0 defense, and that's where a lot of you are probably like, what? It's the odd one out among these three, and it needs one of the fusions, and it has 0 attack and 0 defense. So it needs Idaten, and then it needs a level 5 or higher warrior type monster, so that's not hard to do at all. And then the attack of all monsters on the field becomes 0. If this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation in either player's turn, you can have each of those battling monsters gain attack equal to their own level times 200 during that damage calculation only. That is crazy. Okay, so he comes out, everybody drops to 0. He's already at 0, so it doesn't really matter. But everybody drops to 0. And then whenever two monsters battle, you can make both monsters gain attack equal to their levels times 200 each. So, for instance, for him, he would jump up to 2400 if I'm doing my math right. And so that's pretty good. You'll be able to do... He's level 12. You'll be able to run over just about everything in the game. Actually, no, you will be able to run over everything in the game. Even more so if you equip Shooting Star Sword onto him. And then you got all these guys who have level 10. They'll be 2000 each, so if you have them out whenever you summon Shura, that's just crazy. You'll be able to run over just about everything in the game. Because Think about it. Like, what's the highest level monster that people usually summon in tournaments these days? Level 8 monsters. ABC Dragon Buster, can't remember his name, but Omega, the Cypher Lord Omega. You know, like, that's the average high level that you see. Level 8, level 8, level 8. And then what's everything else you see? Xyz. Xyz will drop down to 0. And then they will, since they don't have levels, they will stay at 0. They won't gain any attack power off of Shura. So, you'll be able to run into an Xyz for 2400 damage with Shura. That is really, really good. I really, really like this effect, and it just combos so incredibly well with Shooting Star Sword. Same thing for all the fusions. I really, really like this deck and what it has potential for. But again, it all comes down to, first and foremost, if Konami actually does print it, I would really, really like to see them get printed. And secondly, I would like to see these normal monsters get changed into effect monsters. And honestly, I feel like that the actual main deck monsters, aside from Kaiki, could do a bit more. Because, I mean, while this guy has a pretty decent effect, they really don't have, well, these guys don't have effects at all. But this guy doesn't really have too much of a relevant effect. So, really what this deck has going for it is the spell cards and the fusions. And that's very intriguing. So, yeah, I really, really like this. I hope Konami actually ends up printing it. I'm actually going to try and see if I can't get some anime duels going with some of my friends or something, because I really want to play this deck now that I've like really been like talking about it and everything, and I really like it. So thank you all guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any ideas for any future anime decks that you want me to talk about, please leave them down in the comments below. And have a great day, everybody. I'm going to go and let this upload and take a nap. I am incredibly tired from my sickness. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday. And goodbye. Good night if it's night. And see you later. I don't know why I'm rambling on with this ending. Bye.